Well, it's Wednesday, the 30th of June. Normally I come out on a Thursday, but my friend who's come down from London has been bike packing around the island. I decided to join him on a Wednesday. We're going to do a 2-night camp. First night here is on Bembridge Down. People call it Culver Cliff or Culver Down. It's actually Bembridge Down. And I'm looking into Sandown Bay there. It's very murky. We've got about half an hour to sunset. We're going to make our way tomorrow to another site, which is right the other side of the bay there. Probably the Landslip, which is going towards Bonchurch, or Luccombe and a place called Haddon Pits. That's the town of Sandown. Try not to wobble the camera. Well, this is where we are. It's a marl pit or a chalk pit, one of the two, on the edge, or the Sandown edge of Bembridge Down. Good night from me, and I'll speak to you when I wake up.
Well, it's 8:30 in the morning. If you know anyone as ugly as this, put something down in the comments. Yeah, so I'm going to go for a walk today to another campsite, but it sounds like it's a really nice day out there. How can it sound like it's a really nice day? It feels like it's a really nice day out there because it's very warm inside the tent. Well, leave no trace. So this is where we've been. It's an old marl pit. We had a dog in the morning, but it was okay. It's not the most isolated of places, but it's okay. There's a buzzard's nest up there. We used to hear them, or we heard them during the night, I say. We used to hear them during the night because I'm leaving, but yeah. So there's a buzzard's nest up there, so it's quite nice to be near a buzzard's nest as well. So there's the rubbish from both of us, so I'll take that out. Well, this is Haddon Pits, and the problem is we've got cattle in here, so that's out of the question. I normally camp, will go down the bottom there, but unfortunately today I can't. The second option is the Landslip, and I've got a really good place in there. The trouble is my friend's got a bike, and the gentleman along the footpath there does not like cyclists coming through, and it leads to an argument. So quite rightly, you shouldn't be on the footpath, but even if you walk your bike through, he goes mental. We're just about to go in the Landslip. I'll show you a bit more in a minute. When we get down the steps, we're going to take a left and I'll show you the campsite. We got permission from the owner. We just met the owner of the land, but she said there's already an encampment down there, so we'll have to find out. There could be people down there already. We're just entering the Landslip now, and I'll show you the place where we turn left. There could be people down there, we don't know yet. So the way into this site is when you get near the wishing seat, which is over there. You can't see it very well. You basically take a left if you're coming from Shanklin, or right if you're coming from Bonchurch. And we've got to get the bike through there as well. And Peter's struggling. My friend is struggling to get the bike down, basically. He's done it. So we've now got to get into here. So yeah, let's see how we get on. So here we are. That's the edge of the cliff. I don't want to fall over. And that's the beach there. And we've got this open area here. It's a lot mossier than I remember it. We'll get down here. So yeah, it looks okay. Bit damp, but it's fine. People do come down here, kids, etc. That's where you see the bottle there, the bottles. I think I'm gonna pitch up here. It's not gonna be perfect, but yeah, it's better than nothing. There's a lot of tarp up there, so what I'm going to do is nick some of that tarp and put it down on the floor. I've got a massive drop there, but and that's pretty slippy, so I better not sleepwalk because I'll slip and go over the edge. But just show you the view, if you hopefully you can see it. So I'm going to zoom in and just show you that down there is the beach, and we used to camp down there as well as kids. There's someone in a teepee. We think there's someone in it. It's a very large teepee. It could be a kids' encampment, but it's a canvas teepee, and we believe someone might be in it. So I might go and shout out and say, hey, we're here, but they've probably heard us already. So we got our music on, Bluetooth speaker. I've checked the teepee out, there's no one in it, so I might show it to you in a minute. It's a massive teepee. So they might turn up later, I don't know, but there's no one in it. I checked inside. I'll show you the teepee now, as a matter of fact. So there's the teepee up there. I'll show you a bit closer. There's no one in it, but I'll give you a peek inside as well. They've even built steps. So they've done a proper professional job on it. Quite big, I'll show you inside. I think it's canvas wrapped around branches, obviously. So it is quite big. In fact, it's massive. And there's a mat there, sort of caftan type thing. So maybe it's just kids, but he's got a fire in the middle as well. So yeah, big place. That noise, it's not a badger, it's my friend in the tent. It's not the ideal place to camp, I'll be honest. I hope I don't sleepwalk. The tarpaulin I found, there's bits of tarpaulin around here. I thought, well, I don't want to get stuff damp and wet. I thought I'd use it, but obviously I could go down there as well, so I've got to be really careful. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm quite happy. I've got a cider. It's the one from Lidl, Woodgate. It's actually made by Weston's. It's a really nice cider, and £1.15 a bottle, £1.15. It's really cheap and really nice. But my friend's given me some IPA he doesn't want as well, and I love IPA. Indian Pale Ale. I think it's an American one. So here we are. I'll just show you food. These are holm oak, these trees. Well, it's oak here as well, but most of them are holm oak, which are really a Mediterranean tree that got introduced to the UK, especially on the Isle of Wight, and they thrive here. But there is some oaks here as well. That's my friend's tarp. I was there, that's my sleeping bag on top. Good night. Barn owls were screeching all night, making noise, so I got woken up a couple of times, but overall I had a good night's sleep. Went to bed at 1 o'clock, woke up at 7, 6 hours camping's not a bad deal, really. So yeah, really good place, just very close to the edge of the cliff. I'm convinced if you go that way, there's more sights, and I need to look around. I might do, when my friend comes back from doing his ablutions, and go and have a search down there. I don't want to come across him, obviously, when he's in what I call the dog squatting position. It's not the cleanest of sights in terms of dust and dirt and stuff like that. I prefer to be on grass, obviously, but beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, there is other people who have lived down here in the past, rough, so to speak, and seasonal workers like Polish people and whatever, Eastern Europeans, have camped down here. I've seen them down here before. They're quite friendly when you come across them, but they don't want to pay rent, so they're picking tomatoes or whatever, strawberries, and they live in tents for the summer. And you know, they don't leave a mess either, and they're pretty good people. They leave no trace, so I've got no problems with that. It's just a bit scary when you come and camp somewhere like this, and then you come across people that are already there. So I always go up to them and say, look, I'm here for the night. And even if they don't speak perfect English, they explain to them I'm camping, and they're fine. You know, 99.99% of the people in this world are fine, aren't they? So yeah, I'm never scared of other campers that happen to be in places like this. It's not like camping, let's say, on top of a Peak District or somewhere in Scotland where you know there's going to be campers. You don't expect them to be in places like this because it's very isolated and difficult to get to. Anyway, I'll wrap up for now, and I'm going to have a search down there, and I might show you some areas that I believe are very good. All you've got to remember is to get into here, you just come in for the Landslip. If you're coming in from Shanklin, you take a left, and there's paths everywhere here. Or if you're coming in from Bonchurch, you take a right. So if you're coming from the west, you take a right. If you're coming from the east, you take a left. I'm going for a little wander, see if I can find some better sites. There's a teepee. You won't believe the amount of ivy in this place. As I say, the light doesn't really penetrate around here very much. So it's always cool even in the summer. Right, I don't know if you could see that up there. That's a tarp. I hope there's no one underneath it. I want to have a look. Well, again, loads of rubbish and a very crude tarp put up. And lots of tarps left behind. Shame they do this, really. I mean, it ruins the area, but you can always use it yourself, I suppose. Nice view, but not campable. It's very close to Bonchurch there, down the corner. Interesting area. It fell recently, when I mean recently, 15, 20 years ago. So it's not got the growth back yet. So it's still quite shrubby. There's a can there as well. So people do come down here. I'm wondering about down there even, it's quite flattish. And you wouldn't be seen by anyone walking along the beach either. So I've just zoomed in there. Let's check we're on the right zoom. Yeah, so, right zoom level. Yeah, that green bit there, you might get away with it and no one would see you unless they came to the top of the cliff or they decided to climb up from the beach. Never really noticed it before. Here's a little pano for you. There is wild spots on the Isle of Wight, and this is one of them. Humans have been here, fire, but it's extremely wet. I wouldn't want to pitch up here. It's literally like the water's oozing out of the mud at the top. You might get away with this. So this is a site that's probably the nearest and best I've seen really, but it is very damp, and if it rains, you would know about it. So yeah, not perfect, but not bad. And as you can see from these cliffs, this is where the problem really is in the landslip here. The water's percolating underneath from the bottom. There's the green sandstone cliff at the top. I've mentioned this in previous videos, and it's basically pushing everything into the sea. So obviously you wouldn't walk across there because you'd definitely sink in the mud. It's very, very deep mud, and you'd be in big trouble if you got stuck in that. Who's going to come and find you? There's not even a mobile phone signal here. So I've come back on another path. So by mistake, and I don't think I've walked this one before. Beautiful beech tree there. What a fascinating area it is though. It's very unique. I've not seen it anywhere else in the world I've been to. The nearest is the landslip between Seaton and Lyme Regis, but it's nowhere as interesting as this. These heart-tongue ferns, I can't remember the Latin name, they thrive down here. So it's an ideal place, and look at the size of them everywhere. Well, I've come back to that tarp site, so I just went north of it basically. So I'm back on the main path now. Better hurry up, 10 o'clock now. My mate wants to go and see his mum on the island, so I better get a move on. See you soon. Well, I'm coming back to the car now, so yeah, that's it for today. But I might sit on the bench in Haddon's Pit and have myself a cider. I've got one in the car, so I'm going to show you something of Sandown Bay. So this is Sandown Bay. Culver Cliff, over that cliff is Bembridge, a couple of miles away. Sandown Pier, Shanklin, I'll show you that zoomed in a minute. So that's the sort of semicircular shape of Sandown Bay. I've just seen a peregrine falcon actually, which is really good. So I'm really happy about that. They do nest here. This place is full of adders early in the morning as well. We were going to camp here last night, but of course the cattle are down there. Only 3 of them, but that would have been enough. They're young steers, they're very curious, and they would have made our life a misery. Well, that's Shanklin Beach or Esplanade there. So beautiful place, I used to live there. I love Shanklin. One of my favourite towns on the island. And that's Culver Cliff. The other side of that is Bembridge. Well, I'm going to make my way home now. Overall, really good trip. I really enjoyed it. It didn't rain. The weather was quite pleasant. Yeah, good one.